Number 15, Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly aura never came from intimidation, it came from inevitability, and that actually lowered his fear factor in a strange way. Opponents were terrified of his brain, not his presence. He diagnosed plays before the snap, called out route combinations, and beat ball carriers to spots they hadn't even reached yet. He led the league in tackles twice, won Defensive Player of the Year, and made 7 Pro Bowls in 8 seasons because he erased mistakes instantly. His hit on Devonta Freeman in 2017 was violent, but it felt surgical, not menacing. Kuechly didn't stare you down or flex after hits. He just appeared, collided, and moved on, but nonetheless, he was still one of the greatest and hardest hitting linebackers in NFL history. Quarterbacks respected the hell out of him, but his aura was clean, efficient, and controlled, which made him dominant but not haunting. That's why he starts this list, because the menaces that come later on are ones that carry nightmare-fueling aura. Number 14, Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner built his reputation through consistency, not shock value, and that slightly capped his aura despite elite production. With over 1,500 tackles, multiple first-team All-Pros, and a Super Bowl ring, Wagner was the heartbeat of Seattle's defense for a decade. His hits were precise, explosive, and perfectly timed, especially on crossing routes where receivers never saw him coming. But Wagner rarely crossed into intimidation theater. He didn't play reckless or wild, his film study was legendary, and his power came from angles and leverage, not rage. Opposing offenses feared testing the middle because Wagner erased forward momentum instantly, especially near the goal line. Still, his aura felt professional, not mythic. He punished mistakes instead of imposing fear before the snap. Wagner was respected everywhere he played, but fear followed others on this list more aggressively. Number 13, Mo Lewis. Mo Lewis carries one of the strangest aura legacies in NFL history, built on one hit that changed everything. In 2001, his collision with Drew Bledsoe caused internal damage and opened the door for Tom Brady, reshaping the league forever. That moment alone gives Lewis a permanent place in football lore. But beyond that, he was a brutal, downhill outside linebacker who made 3 Pro Bowls and anchored the Jets' defense for years. Lewis hit through runners, not at them, and his edge-setting power punished anyone testing the boundary. His aura came from consequence, not spectacle. Players knew hits near the sideline could flip seasons. He never chased headlines or controversy, yet his name still echoes through history because of one unavoidable collision. That quiet, ripple effect fear gives him more aura than most remember. Number 12, Vontaze Burfict. Vontaze Burfict's aura was chaos-based, unpredictable, and deeply uncomfortable for everyone on the field. Opponents never knew whether a routine play would end normally or explode into controversy. He delivered force at full speed and rarely throttled down, which led to fines, suspensions, and constant scrutiny. His hit on Antonio Brown in the 2015 playoffs became infamous and overshadowed how violently he played snap to snap. Burfict forced turnovers, diagnosed gaps quickly, and struck ball carriers with real power, but his reputation did the real damage. Receivers hesitated, coaches warned players, teammates braced for fallout. That unpredictability created fear, but also distance. His aura was less dominance and more danger. He felt like a problem that could derail games rather than control them. That volatility earns him a spot here, but not higher. Number 11, Bill Romanowski. Bill Romanowski weaponized chaos into intimidation, and his aura thrived on crossing lines others avoided. He broke Kerry Collins' jaw, knocked out Leroy Horde, and played with a reputation that made opponents uneasy before kickoff. Romanowski obsessed over toughness, especially after Ronnie Lott once questioned it, and that obsession turned him into one of the league's most feared linebackers. He wasn't just reckless, he was effective. He made 4 Pro Bowls, won 4 Super Bowls, and delivered brutal legal hits like his open field demolition of Curtis Martin in the 1998 AFC Championship. Players never trusted his intentions, which amplified his presence. You couldn't relax against him, even after the whistle. That lingering tension built his aura over time. But first, only cool people are subscribed to this channel, so hit that subscribe button before we go any further. Number 10, Patrick Willis. Patrick Willis blended raw power with technical perfection, creating an aura rooted in controlled violence. As a rookie in 2007, he led the league with 174 tackles, then did it again 2 years later. His hit on Brad Smith in 2009 bent Smith backward and ended his night instantly. Willis wasn't flashy, but his collisions carried authority. Running backs knew they weren't falling forward. Fullbacks braced for impact. In the 2011 NFC Championship, his hit on Henry Hynoski sent a message that echoed through the stadium. 7 Pro Bowls and 5 first-team All-Pros in just 8 seasons proved his dominance. His aura came from inevitability mixed with punishment. You knew the hit was coming, and you knew it would hurt. That quiet certainty pushed Willis into double-digit territory on this list. Number 9, Brian Urlacher. Brian Urlacher looked like a superhero and hit like one too, which gave him immediate visual aura. At 6'4" with elite speed, Urlacher erased plays sideline to sideline and stacked over 1,300 tackles and 41.5 sacks. His hit on Michael Vick in 2005 showed how fast he could close and how hard he could finish. Urlacher's presence controlled the middle of the field, forcing offenses to avoid routes they normally lived on. He wasn't reckless, but his size and acceleration made collisions unavoidable. Quarterbacks felt him even when he didn't record the tackle. His Defensive Player of the Year season cemented Chicago's defensive identity around him. Urlacher's aura came from physical dominance and longevity, a steady reminder that space disappeared when he was nearby. Number 8, Junior Seau. Junior Seau's aura came from relentless motion and emotional intensity that never shut off. He finished with over 1,800 tackles, 12 Pro Bowls, and a reputation for playing every snap like it mattered more than the last. His chase down hit on Seahawks receiver Tommy Kane in 1991 showed his speed, power, and refusal to quit on any play. Seau attacked blockers, exploded through gaps, and delivered hits that stopped momentum instantly. Opponents felt his presence because he was everywhere, all the time. His leadership amplified his impact, turning defenses into reflections of his energy. Seau admitted the hits hurt him too, but that only added to the fear. He never slowed down. His aura wasn't menace or chaos, it was relentless force that wore teams down until mistakes followed. Number 7, Ray Nitschke. Ray Nitschke's aura felt like a warning sign planted in the middle of the field. Nicknamed Wild Man, he played with reckless force that defined early NFL brutality. In Super Bowl II, he set the tone immediately by blasting Raiders fullback Hewitt Dixon so hard, it announced exactly how the game would be played. Nitschke wasn't chasing highlights or stats, he wanted contact, and he wanted it to hurt. Teammates said even practice felt dangerous because he never dialed anything back. Runners hesitated before cutting inside, not because of scheme, but because of memory. His aura came from emotional dominance. When he lined up, opponents knew the middle belonged to him. That kind of presence shaped Green Bay's identity and made fear part of the game plan. But compared to what's coming next, this was only the foundation. Number 6, Mike Singletary. Mike Singletary's aura came from intensity that bordered on obsession. His eyes widened before every snap because he was diagnosing everything at once. And once he saw it, the hit was inevitable. He anchored the 1985 Bears, a defense that suffocated teams mentally and physically. Singletary wasn't flashy, but his collisions felt final, especially in short yardage moments where seasons were decided. His 3rd and 1 stop on Eric Dickerson in the NFC Championship crushed the Rams' momentum instantly. Singletary screamed after tackles, not for show, but because effort was personal to him. He played like discipline itself could hurt you. Opponents didn't fear trash talk or theatrics. They feared getting exposed by his preparation and punished for it seconds later. His aura wasn't chaos. It was controlled violence, backed by certainty. Number 5, James Harrison. James Harrison's aura was pure threat. Undrafted, cut multiple times, and fueled by resentment, he played like every snap was a personal vendetta. Quarterbacks felt it immediately. His 2007 season was legendary, filled with forced fumbles, sacks, and hits that flipped games by themselves. Harrison didn't just tackle, he detonated. His hit on Mohamed Massaquoi in 2010 became a league-wide conversation because it captured exactly how he played every week. He even joked that if he knew the fine would be that high, he would have hit him harder. That tells you everything about the mindset. Opponents knew holding the ball too long meant consequences. Harrison's aura lived in the pause before contact, when players realized escape wasn't coming. Fear followed him snap after snap, and that pushes him deep into this list. Number 4, Jack Lambert. Jack Lambert didn't need to speak to intimidate anyone. His toothless grin, wild eyes, and 6'4" frame made him look unhinged, and he played exactly like that. Lambert was the soul of the steel curtain, enforcing Pittsburgh's identity with zero tolerance for disrespect. His most famous moment came in Super Bowl X when he slammed Cliff Harris to the turf after Harris taunted the Steelers kicker. That wasn't about the play. That was about order. Lambert decided what was allowed, and opponents learned quickly. Even quarterbacks admitted feeling shaken just seeing him across the line. His aura came from instant punishment and absolute certainty. If you crossed a line, he handled it immediately. That kind of authority doesn't fade, and it carried real fear every Sunday. Number 3, Dick Butkus. Dick Butkus played like he wanted every tackle to be remembered. In an era built on collisions, he stood out as the collision itself. Hall of Famers described him as the meanest man they ever faced, and that reputation followed him everywhere. Butkus didn't just stop runners, he lifted them, suspended them, and drove them into the turf with intention. His accolades stacked up, but his aura came from stories. Opponents talked about praying before plays and avoiding routes that crossed his path. Packers legend Paul Hornung openly admitted he feared him. That kind of respect only comes from consistent violence. Butkus didn't care about finesse. He wanted dominance, and he delivered it play after play. His aura lived in memory long after the whistle blew. Number 2, Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor's aura was panic. He didn't just beat offenses, he broke their structure. With 132.5 career sacks, he still managed to impact games in ways numbers couldn't capture. Quarterbacks heard footsteps even when he wasn't rushing. Offensive coordinators redesigned protections because of him. His sack of Joe Theismann in 1985 became one of the most haunting moments in NFL history, a reminder of how fast everything could go wrong. Taylor's speed didn't make sense, especially for his size, and once he locked in, plays died instantly. His aura came from inevitability and chaos at the same time. You couldn't scheme him away forever. He would arrive eventually, and when he did, the game tilted. Only one linebacker carried more total fear than that. Number 1, Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis sits at number 1 because his aura was complete. The speeches, the stare, the ritual, and then the hit that followed like a guarantee. He finished his career with over 2,000 combined tackles, including a record 1,568 solo tackles, plus 41.5 sacks. But the fear went beyond stats. Opponents hesitated because every collision felt personal. His hit on Rashard Mendenhall in 2008 shattered a shoulder and echoed across the league. Even Michael Vick has said Lewis was the only defender he truly feared. Lewis didn't just tackle, he imposed presence. He turned routine plays into moments and moments into memories. When Ray Lewis was on the field, the game felt heavier. If you like this video, consider watching this next one, which YouTube thinks you are going to really love.